everybody, Crafting Journey here, that Journey Chick on Instagram. Thought I'd wear the hat. Hopefully this is like the last winter day. This is it, right? We're done. I did not go to work today. I texted my boss. There is black ice everywhere. So the snow just came down and we had like 6 to 12 inches here yesterday. I know that's not a lot for some places. It's a lot for Wichita and for my driveway. So so it did warm up yesterday, enough for the snow to melt a little, but then it got really, really cold last night and everything froze again. All that melting snow froze into ice, black ice. I'm like, nah, I feel more comfortable staying home. And so my boss said, if you're more comfortable at home, I understand. So I'm working from home and it's Friday. Woo, we gotta do the Friday dance. Friday dance, ooh, ooh. It's not payday, but it's a Friday dance. Friday dance, ooh, ooh. Oh, for those of you who can't hear me, turn your volume up. I'm using the speakers on, the microphone's on. This is the best I can do. I'll play with the settings during my editing, see if I can turn the volume up a little, but sometimes I don't know, I guess I don't speak loud enough. Or I should be speaking directly into the microphone. Yep. So glad it's Friday. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay. So, got my pink pen. I am loving this pink pen. Oh my God. I would buy that whole set of pens again just to get the pink pen. Yeah, I would. And let's finish out the week, shall we? Today, in this day in history, we're going to talk about Dale Earnhardt. Dale, how do you spell it? Dale, I don't know. Dale Earnhardt. Hart. And today is National Battery Day. We're going to see how many batteries we have. Battery Day. How many batteries do you have in your house? Let's think. I have I'm just going to count here. Okay, ready? Okay. I have 2 batteries in my remote control. And then I have 2 batteries in my Xbox controller. Xbox. What else has batteries? Oh, I have a clock. 1 battery in the clock, which never gives me the right time anyway. Where else do I have batteries in this house? Anyway, the bottom line is we have an awful gosh darn lot of batteries. So take a little walk around your house, count the number of batteries, see if there's a better battery you can buy, maybe a rechargeable battery. Make sure you're disposing of them properly. Me? Garbage. I don't know. Is there a better way to dispose of a battery? Are we supposed to dispose of them in a special way? I don't know. Where else do I have batteries? I'm always oh, the mouse. This is a, which one is this? I think this is a double, yeah, that's a double A too. Yeah, so mouse. Let's not forget the mouse. The mouse is in the house. Where else? Oh, I'm sure there's like a dozen other places that I'm not even thinking of. But anyway, that's 6 so far. I usually buy a very large pack. I keep them in the freezer. The batteries date back for centuries. They found evidence in like going back thousands of years of these makeshift batteries. Yeah, so batteries have been around a very, very long time. Yeah, how cool is that? Even people that live off the grid have batteries. You got to have batteries for your flashlight, for your generators, all that kind of stuff. I don't have a generator. I should have flashlights, but I don't know where they're at or if they have batteries in them. I'm not, I was a Girl Scout. I was supposed to be prepared, but I'm not prepared. What other batteries? I'm just looking around the room. Batteries. Well, the computers have batteries, obviously, but not the kind I'm thinking of. But yeah, I guess, battery is a battery. Yeah. And they always say, like, your smoke detectors have batteries. I'm sure do I have a smoke detector? I don't even know if I'm sure I have one in this house. But you should check them when it's like the daylight savings time or the other, when we switch the clocks back and forth. That's a great time to change your batteries out. Or more frequently if you need a car. My car has a battery. Oh, we can't forget the car battery, because when that dies, we're in trouble. Anyway, National Battery Day. Just give it some thought. Like, do you have batteries in your bedside table, in some of those objects? Yep. Or do they plug in? The plug-in ones are better. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. I digress. Yeah. Okay. And for all you men who watch, just skip that part. Yeah. Or not, because it's fun. Never mind. Don't get me started. Don't. Yeah. Stop, Rebecca. Stop. Stop. So, apparently, I don't have to go to my grandkids' house to watch them. I can just check in on them on Saturday. I'm like, hey, I could deal with that. Because my plan was to go there after work today and spend the night and just harass them. Apparently, they're like, no, please call off Grandma. Because they want the house to themselves, clearly. So I'll go check on them tomorrow. Now, tomorrow during the day, I'm supposed to be on Lizzie's World of Gems show. She's doing her and Tia's Crazy Craft Edition are doing a Valentine's Day collab. And each week they've had on different couples. So tomorrow is for people that are single. So I'm going to go on. I'm going to dress up, put on some makeup, and I'm going to be the single person. Like the token single of the community. Okay, that is tomorrow. I do not know what time. I need to find out what time, so because I got to be there, right? But tomorrow night, oh my God, I can't wait. Tomorrow night, I'm interviewing David McLean. He is the artist for this painting, Notre Dame Nights. He's the artist for To Russia with Love and 3 other ones that are carried by Diamond Art Club. But I put a link down in the description to his website. Oh my God, check it out. And he's quite a handsome man, I must say. Yeah. Okay. What else? And then Sunday, we have a new pen turner for the Ticket to Ride event. Yes, a new pen turner. Her name is Nicole. And last night we had her in the live, and she turned some pens. Oh, she didn't turn some pens. She just gave some away. But I'm going to have her on my show Sunday, and she's going to turn some pens for us, because I thought that was so fascinating last week. So this week, we're going to have a different person turn pens, just to see if there's any difference, or, how she does it. I'm curious. She's got some beautiful pens. I mean, they all do. All the pen makers have beautiful pens. There's no doubt about that. So we're going to have her on Sunday, Nicole. And I'll have all the information Sunday in my description about, her Etsy shop and all that stuff, and where you can buy the pens. But tune in on Sunday and we'll watch her make a pen. Oh, that'll be cool. Okay. And that'll be my usual Sunday at 11 Central Time. So don't forget to hit the like button today. On your way in or out of the show, the like button made me some coffee this morning. Yeah. Coffee. He's pretty good at it. Yeah, 3 tablespoons, and it's not bad. So yesterday, the like button tried to get rid of the bread in the kitchen, and my sister stopped him. She's like, wait a minute, I'm not off the bread. She is. So hit the like button. Please subscribe if you like the content of the channel. And if you're already a subscriber, please consider becoming a member of the channel. You can donate a monthly donation for as little as $1.99, and it goes to support the content of the channel, like yarn or diamond paintings. I am purchasing that Black Lab diamond painting from Diamond Art Club this weekend. Oh yeah, my hot little hand is going to be on that button at 11 a.m. Oh yeah, I want it. Unless I've seen everything else they're coming out with this weekend, and I'm not impressed. I don't know. I don't know what they're coming out with today. We'll see. But that lab with the landscape inside, oh, it is to die for. It really is. I just love it. Anyway. All right, the movie theater. Okay. All right, here's what you came here for. Crafting and Crime Daily. Yeah. So, I'm trying to keep up with all these trials. Now, I'm told that the sentencing is scheduled for today for Kimberly Potter. She is the former police officer that shot and killed Dante Wright, the black male, the young black male who was trying to flee. She thought she pulled her taser. Instead, she pulled her gun and she shot him, killed him, dead within a few seconds. Not before he put his foot on the gas pedal, causing an accident. You know, drives over the median, causes an accident, injures his girlfriend. But he passed away on the scene. Anyway, Kimberly Potter was found guilty, and she should be sentenced today. I'd like to bring that to you live if I can get a time on it, and hopefully it won't last terribly long. Usually during these sentences, though, we do hear victim impact statements, so I expect that the mother and the father will come on to the stand and or stand up and read a statement or make a statement about how wonderful their son was, and he had his whole life ahead of him, and never mind his criminal history or the fact that he was fleeing the cops. Okay, whatever. Yes, you can tell, like, you can feel some kind of way about it. Anyway, but Kimberly Potter, this woman with a decorated police career, two young men in college will be going to prison. Yup. Okay. It's sad all the way around. Just a sad situation. You know, nobody wins. Nobody wins. Anyway, in the Robert Hayes case, the prosecution has rested. Now, I said I was going to talk to you about genetic genealogy. This came about, this whole case rests on genetic genealogy. So these three murders are committed years ago in Daytona Beach, while simultaneous to the murders, the defendant was attending Bethune-Cookman College in Daytona Beach, Florida. So, and then 10 years later, you know, these went unsolved. They did have DNA, but they only analyzed it for 13 markers. That's what they were doing at the time. You know, fast forward 10 years, you get another victim up in West Palm Beach, or down. Daytona's up, West Palm Beach is down. He's now living in West Palm Beach, coincidentally. We have another murder, and they're all prostitutes. All the MO is the same, and this is what the case has been about, how similar each of these murders are. They're all found shot in the head, single gunshot wound to the head. They're all lying face down. They're all prostitutes. Very similar MOs. And semen is collected from each and every one of the victims, and thus DNA is collected. But they were never able to solve those three murders. So then we fast forward 10 years later, where DNA has now evolved, and they're now checking for 21 markers instead of 13. So they get DNA from this West Palm Beach victim, which this defendant has been charged with that murder, and he will be tried for that murder at a later date. So they take that DNA and they run it through a genetic genealogy lab. And how this works is, now that people are so interested in their ancestry, you know, they order these kits and they swab the insides of their mouth and they send it to these companies to find out, who's your ancestor? Am I from Scotland? Am I really Irish? Because everybody thinks they're Irish. Especially St. Patrick's Day. Oh, I'm Irish. No, you're not. You're Jewish. But whatever. So anyway, so they send we have all these companies, 23andMe, you know. So all of it goes into this database. All of these DNA profiles are now sitting in a database. So what they do now is they take this sample of DNA collected from the crime scenes and they look for DNA that has a lot of the same markers that could be familial. So so if the markers are very, very similar, then we know that this is a relative of the person that they are looking for. So in this case, they ran the DNA that they had, the 21 markers, through this database, and there's like gazillions of profiles in this database, and it comes back with a hit to this woman who has enough similarities in her DNA that she has to be related to this guy. She happens to have 3 half-brothers, which could explain the similarities in the DNA. So they follow these 3 half-brothers. They rule out 2 of them. They follow the defendant. He throws away a cigarette butt. They collect the cigarette butt. They get DNA off the cigarette butt, and it is a match. Now, that is in the database. Now, the Daytona DNA is in the database as well, and it hits on that as well. So now it hits on all 4 as a match. So because it was tied into this West Palm Beach case, it then came back to these Daytona Beach cases, and that is their really strongest evidence against this man. Now, their defense's argument is, yeah, my client visited prostitutes. Yeah, he probably left his semen in them, but that doesn't mean he murdered them. You can't jump to that conclusion. Yes, his DNA is on all 4 people, but that does not mean he murdered them. Now, I mean, he has a point. However, it's very much a coincidence that the prostitutes you happen to visit are all murdered. Yeah, okay. And we do know that he had purchased a weapon, the same weapon that was used in these 3 murders, 4 murders actually. So we do have a weapon to tie it in, and we have the DNA. So the prosecution rested yesterday. The defense put on a genetic genealogy witness. I don't know what she had to say. I did not listen, but I'm curious. I will bring you that tomorrow. I don't know what other witnesses the defense is going to put on. I know they did a charging conference. That may go to the jury today. I doubt this defendant is going to take the stand in his own defense. I would not have recommended it. So if that goes to the jury and they come back, I'll go live and we'll let you know what happened with that. Then we have the movie theater popcorn case. Now, I tell you what, this defense lawyer, he's pretty darn good. They put on the lead detective. Let me find my notes on that. The lead detective. The lead detective, and he said he was the investigating detective. He was on the scene, but there was also a lead crime scene investigator, which was a different person. And he admitted that this lead crime scene investigator was brand new to the homicide unit. And this is all stuff that was brought out on cross-examination. He had not even attended how to work in the homicide. You know, I guess there's a class on how to work in the the homicide division. He hadn't done that yet. He had been working in the missing persons major crimes division, and now he was working homicide. So this guy, he asked this guy, you know, as the lead detective, did you go over to him and tell him, you know, hey, you need to separate those witnesses? You've got them all in one room, and you handed him a piece of paper. Have you separated them out? No, no, I didn't tell him that. And he just went on and on about the mistakes that were made. Weren't you interviewing people together? Shouldn't you have separated them? Shouldn't you, you know, you were allowing one witness to interview with another witness, and don't you agree that when several people hear other stories, they tend to adopt that as their own story, and actually really believe that that's their own story? And he's like, yeah. Like he didn't care, this detective. He's like, yeah. And then he finally says, listen, this was not a major crime scene. It was, you know, it happened in a very small area. It was a single gunshot wound. The popcorn was there. There was not a lot to investigate or secure, you know, I don't know. Then this same detective interviewed the wife, but failed to record the interview. Now, I agree that they don't record all interviews, but the defense attorney made hay about, you know, what, shouldn't you have recorded this one? You know, wasn't she really upset? Now we don't know what her demeanor was. We don't know what she was, you know, going to say, you know, at the time, and how she felt, and now we don't have a flavor for any of that because you didn't record it. And I'm like, he was really making some headway with this detective. So I suspect in his closing argument, he is going to argue sloppy police investigation, you know, having to do with the handling of the cell phone, the handling of the witnesses, the handling of the crime scene, that it was all done in a very poor fashion. We'll see. I don't know. Then they put on one last eyewitness, the prosecution. This guy was sitting in the same aisle as the defendant. So when the defendant came back from getting the manager or talking to the manager about this guy being on his cell phone, copy, hold on. He has to pass this guy in his seat. So he passes this guy in his seat, and he's watching as he goes, and he sits down. And he hears the other guy turn around and lean over and says, you know, hey, I was just trying to text my daughter's babysitter. And next thing you know, the popcorn's flying. He says he said the guy picked up the popcorn, flicked it at him into his face, and then there was a gunshot. That fast, that quick. And he said, no, he never saw anybody hit the defendant. He never saw the cell phone hit the defendant, a fist hit the defendant. He never heard anything threatening the defendant. So that's now several eyewitnesses that say nothing was done to warrant this man being shot. Yeah. And then this is the same guy who afterwards went over to the victim's wife to offer her some medical aid for her finger, because he said her finger was hanging by a thread, because he saw that she had put her left hand over his left chest, which is where he was shot, and went through her finger. So he said he had napkins and he was wrapping it up, and they were, you know, helping put pressure on it, waiting for. And then afterwards, he took her outside and he made phone calls. He says, "Who do you want me to call? You know, you want me to call somebody for you?" And she instructed him on who to call, and he was a very, very nice guy. So they have also rested. The prosecution has rested. And we are now going to, they both cases, they moved for judgment of acquittal, that the prosecution did not put sufficient evidence to convict their clients, which we know historically that motion always fails. The judge says yes, in the light most favorable to the prosecution, there is enough evidence to put this to a jury decision in both cases. So now the defense has to go on with their cases. So we already know from the opening statement in the popcorn case that the defense is going to put on an expert on aging. I'm very curious about that one. to say how vulnerable he felt. So I'm very interested in this testimony. And I don't know if he's going to put the wife on as a witness to contradict everything we heard from all the other witnesses. I don't know. Because I'm curious about what the wife has to say. We haven't heard from her. She was sitting right there. Okay. That is the crime portion of the show. What happened this day in history? Well, Dale Earnhardt was participating in a NASCAR race. In 2001, on February 18th, in Daytona, of course, Daytona Beach. This is the Daytona Beach edition of the Florida edition of Crafting and Crime. They were on their last lap of the Daytona 500, the 43rd Daytona 500. I remember I lived up in Flagler Beach, which is one county up from Daytona, and you avoided Daytona during the Daytona 500. There was like a Walmart or a Kmart or something that was across the street from the racetrack, and sometimes we would go there, and when they were practicing, not during the 500, we would go there when they were practicing. This thing was so loud. Oh my God, it was loud. These are memories that I have from childhood of this place. Anyway, Earnhardt was driving his famous number 3 black Chevrolet, and he was vying for third place. When he collided with another car, then crashed into a wall. He had to be cut out of his vehicle. He had a very tough, aggressive style of driving, and he had earned him the nickname the Intimidator. But after being cut out, he was pronounced dead at the hospital from severe head injuries. Very, very sad. He was very, very famous in NASCAR racing. Earnhardt had been involved in another crash in the Daytona 500 in 1997 when his car flipped upside down on the backstretch. He managed to escape serious injury and went on to win Daytona in 1998. His first and only victory in that race after 20 years of trying. The 200-lap, 500-mile Daytona 500, which was first run in 1959 at the newly opened Daytona International Speedway, is one of NASCAR's premier events, as well as its season opener. I do not follow NASCAR. My ex-husband was. Every Sunday we had to watch NHRA Today, which is these drag races. Then we had to watch NASCAR, and then, so unless it was football season, then it was football. But when it wasn't football season, it was fishing shows, NASCAR. Sundays were just, yeah. My husband sat in front of that TV and watched all this stuff, and I was like, yeah, no. Anyway, that is what happens this day in history. Okay. Tonight, please don't forget my friend Mickey Sunshine Creates. She's going to be on at 6:30 Central Time, 7:30 Eastern. Check out her show. She's really funny. She has memory problems, so I make fun of her. So, sometimes she'll say the same thing she said in last week's show, but it's funny because she doesn't remember she said it in last week's show. But I love her to death. So check out her show tonight. She always has some fresh content. She'll say it's not fresh, but she does have fresh content every week. So guys, take care. I love you all, and big, huge weekend of, don't forget the David McLean interview. I have not put the thumbnail up. I will do that this morning. When the thumbnail goes up, set the reminder. Don't forget to hit the notifications so you don't miss anything. If I go live, I might want to do the live of the sentencing of Kimberly Potter. Yeah, if that actually happens today, if it hasn't gotten postponed for some unknown reason. And don't forget Sunday, pen turning on my channel again. It's going to be fun. If you missed it last week, you're going to want to see it this week with a different pen turner and just compare the differences. All right. Love you all.